दिवाकर करोज्ज्वल कायकान्तं विघ्नेश्वरं सकलविघ्नहरं नमामि। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। जय जय श्री राधे। What can be a better way than celebrating Women's Day exactly like this that we've done today? It is exactly celebrating women. And before I start what topic has been given to me, I would like to say or shall offer my prayers to all the women in my life. Pronounced to all of them, because what I am here, no doubt I would not be present without my mother, my sister, my wife, but at the same time all those people right from my childhood. And it's a pleasure that somebody among all of you over here also happens to be my teacher when I was just in class 1. Pranam to you, man. And I felt the best way to have her here and my pranams to her, because somebody who did not know how to talk or even start a conversation, today she's right there seeing that we'll be talking on two most important characters of Indian mythology. Yes, Epicentre, thank you so much, because you have given a gift to Gurgaon Global Cultural Foundation. Thank you so much for the opportunity given to me. And I cannot actually forget, this big thanks also goes to Madhuri ji. You know how we are meeting and talking today over here? Is because of our long conversations, of our times that we've spent together reading books together. Whether we are in different countries, but at the same time we have been reading books together. Radhe Radhe. And can you imagine, Vrindavan people from Vrindavan are actually worshippers of womanhood. They worship women. That's why when we greet anybody, we start with a Radhe Radhe. That's the place where I'm from, and that's my identity. Anyway, I have been asked to share my thoughts on who for today. Is it Sita or is it Draupadi? Both. You cannot do justice. It's impossible that you would want to choose Sita or Draupadi. Today, they both are important. See, I will be choosing one central character to talk on further. But initially, because this topic is as such, and you would have thought there can be a big discussion on it, so we should actually share that what is, as she said, Devdutt Patnaik's article, yes. If you see the nature of earth, exactly by the nature of earth, Sita has lived her life. And exactly by the nature of fire, Draupadi has lived her life. It's not that fire can burn somebody else, but when you're born out of fire, you're burning yourself too. So both the characters, one character is about 10,000 years old, the other character is nearly 5,000 years old. And just imagine They have been present in our heart, within ourselves. And womanhood in India is celebrated and known as Sita. But there was actually a question in my mind: if womanhood would have been Draupadi, what would have been the situation of women today, or say in today's times? The glory of women. Because what has sadhus, sants, mahatmas, gurus, the biggest seers, what they have done? They all have created the symbol of womanhood as Sita. And the moment somebody says to Sita, somebody talks about a woman that you be a Sita of the house, every woman comes like that. I'll just share a few instances from various scriptures. It will be about, there are 54 types of Ramayanas. I don't know whether people know it or not. There is a Jaina Ramayana also. There is a Buddhist Ramayana also. And then various scriptures which will be talking about Draupadi from various scriptures. I will start from Sita, because if there is a comparison to start with, but end up with Draupadi because she's personally my favorite. It was a time when Ram went for the marriage. He was taken by Vishwamitra to Janakpur. And the moment this marriage was happening, the first time ever in the history, the bride's father said to the groom's father, "Here is my Lakshmi. Here is my wealth, and I'm parting my wealth to you. But in return, you will have to give me something." Which today's marriages, the bride's father never asks for anything back. But at that time, the bride's father asked something to be given back. And what was given back? He said, "I am giving you Lakshmi, and you give me your Saraswati." What is giving Saraswati back? Having Saraswati back, or asking for Saraswati, means I'm asking for wisdom. And I want to learn one thing from this beautiful institution that India calls, or the world knows as, marriage. That was the first time the concept of Kanyadan started. And the moment the concept of Kanyadan started, Janak said, "I want to learn one thing from this." He said, "What kind of wisdom do you want?" "I just want one kind of wisdom, and that is, I want to start learning to let go." You know what is the message that Sita gives in the end? I don't know whether you would be knowing these stories or not. Sita has come back. Ram has already killed Ravan. And they are back in Ayodhya. And the moment this news travels that Sita is carrying a child, and birds and vultures and everybody carries this news across the whole world. And the moment Shurpankhah comes to know about it in Lanka, staying with her brother Vibhishan, she comes to Ayodhya and starts mingling with the women of Ayodhya and sharing that, do you know one thing? That Ram was searching for Sita, and Sita was living very nicely and comfortably in the shelter of my brother. And the moment she started mingling with the crowd, with the women of Ayodhya, the women of Ayodhya went to Sita in the royal court and said one day, "We heard that you were abducted by Ravan. What happened? Did you see Ravan? How was Ravan? We've heard so many stories of Ravan." The place where she was sitting, she started making a drawing of Ravan just in the floor of the bedroom, and all these Ayodhya women were surrounding. God knows what happened. That the moment she made it, after making, she tried to rub it so that it is not visible, but Ravan's portrait, or Ravan's painting, was not removed from her bedroom's floor. And everybody said, see, if she has not seen Ravan as she says, if she has not noticed him so clearly, seen him so nearly, that means there must have been some connection. Because Ram was in the forests and Sita was in Lanka, then whose child is it? And the moment this was questioned, Ram started creating, because everybody in the whole city of Ayodhya started talking about Sita, and there were a lot of gossips around. And as everybody knows, that Ram asked Lakshman to drop Sita in the middle of the forest. The moment Ram asked Lakshman to drop, she was dropped by Lakshman in the forest, and there she met Shurpankhah, waiting for her to be sent in the forest. And there Shurpankhah was laughing and saying, "See what I have done to you. There you people deprived me. I wanted to be the wife of your husband Ram, and today Ram has thrown you out of his palace." There Sita said one thing, "Sit close by. I have some very beautiful berries. Will you like to eat? They are really, really sweet." Imagine, Sita didn't even bother to answer what Shurpankhah had to say. And Shurpankhah said, "Don't you feel angry? What do you want to do to me?" She said, "Listen, the only way that I have learned, I am daughter of Janak. I am called Janki. And the moment he gave my hand to Ram, my father gave my hand to Ram, my father said that he wanted to learn something. He wants wisdom, and the wisdom to let go. I am telling you, let it go. Let this enmity, let this jealousy, let this envy from your mind just vanish. The only thing that to be shared is love." So here I definitely say that the message which either Draupadi or Sita they have conveyed is the message when they say a woman is to be loved and not understood. This is the first understanding. See all your relationships, see all your households, see every single husband and wife together. What they are trying to do is only trying to understand each other, and love disappears. And what does Sita claims? And she claims, she says, yes, Ram is God. That's why he's dependable. And I am goddess. That's why I am independent. That is why the nature of a woman is to be independent. The moment you tame her, the moment you control her, she becomes a domesticated animal. And we don't need domesticated animals in our house. And exactly this is what we are doing to all our houses, all our relationships. We marry a human being. The moment the human being comes to our house, we domesticate them and domesticate them as domesticated animals. We treat them like animals. There is so much to share on this. When I say that my personal choice has been always, Madhuri ji just recently said that both were trophy wives. Both were one. There was a swayamvar for both of them. But let us, something which should be discussed. What was the medium of winning them? What was the medium? The medium was the bow. And what does bow signify? When Shiva was asking Parvati and they both were having a conversation, they said, Shiva said, you know Parvati, this bow is yajna and the string is tapasya. The bow is the yajna and string is the tapasya. आप समझ गए? ये हिस्सा समझ लीजिए, क्योंकि ये हमारे जीवन में भी बहुत काम आएगा. जो धनुष है उसका